how to edit your website this morning, and what you can and cannot do. This should probably take about 30 minutes, so we should be done about 10 o'clock. How many of you are currently using your IQ website as your main website? And how long have y'all been in the business? If you can use that chat box to let me know, that gives me a better idea. Awesome. So Samantha, as you're using it, and if there's questions that come up about what you need to complete today, please ask them. I want to make sure, especially because this is a smaller webinar, that we're getting all your questions answered. Hey, Amy. Awesome. Perfect. Lisa, so if you have any specific questions, or something I don't cover, or you want to see something particularly again, please, again, I want to make sure you're getting out of this website what it can do. So to begin, I do want to, for recording purposes, because there's some people that will be watching this completely. Oh, good. Yvette is brand new. So Yvette, that's awesome. Welcome. To log into your website, you're going to go to your IQ username.yourcompanywebsite.com. You can also go to your IQ Office login. And if you click on your name in the upper right-hand corner, there's a spot that says website, and you can click on that and it will open up to your website page here. So if you don't know what your website is, that's how you can find it. To log in, you're going to scroll to the very bottom of the page. And at the very bottom of the page, there's a section that's called IQ Web Login. And you'll notice there's an IQ Office login. This is how you get to your IQ Office. IQ Web Login is how you're going to log into your edit screen for your page. It's the same username and password as your IQ Office login. You put in your username, your password, you click login, and it's going to process. You know you're in edit mode when you get this black bar across the top of your screen. So when you get the editor button across the top of your screen, you know that you're in edit mode. Your clients can still access your website even when you're editing it. As you edit, you'll see a green button that says save. Once you click that green save button, your changes are live to your clients. So as you go through and as you're editing, know that you're not taking your website offline. The changes that you're making are live with that click to save. And we really want to make sure that you are able to not take your website down. You're not losing anything for your clients. So Yvette, new to IQ, where you're going to start is underneath this design button at the top. When you click on design, it's going to pull up a chart of all of the current designs. When you go in, you can scroll at the bottom of the screen, and you can see in here there's many different templates that you can choose from. As you click on each template, it's going to show you a basic overview of the display, as well as a bulleted list of what the design can do. So spend some time here choosing what your design looks like. You know, do you want an option for video on the homepage header? Do you maybe want a video section? What your website to really pop, and what layout do you like the best? So once you've selected the design, you can also choose a color scheme for the buttons. So if your personal brand is dark green, you can click dark green and click use this design. And then it's automatically going to refresh your page. So you can see here, the last design I had my picture here. This one doesn't. I've got my buttons here. And as I scroll down, I can see all the different individual sections of this website. When I go in and I go to the edit page button, I can then see each section that is changeable. I can see has a pencil over the top. And as I hover over it, it becomes a clickable item. But you can change any portion of this front page landing page. When you go in and you click edit, depending on what section you're trying to edit, Lisa, I'm going to come back to you. You can choose if you want a slideshow, a video, template video, or if you want to display a YouTube video, you can do that. To change either the slideshow or the video, you'll click this blue change button in the lower right-hand corner, and then you can select from templated items that are available. If you're doing a slideshow, each slide has one of those blue buttons, and you can change those photos. You can upload your own images, or you can choose from stock images that are available. And you can go in and say, hey, I want to know about Bainbridge, and I would like to select this photo. And there is more information on the right-hand side about what is displayed. What do you want the headline to be? Searching for a new home. Do you want to show properties for sale or for lease? And what type of property would you like to search? So Lisa asked, are there any commercial templates? Lisa, all of our templates really can apply to any type of real estate. So there's not per se, one that is really commercial based. I would say that the imagery and the information that you're going to put on that homepage is commercially based. But when you choose this search form, if you wanted it to be a commercial information, you would choose that you wanted the property to search to be commercial. And that's how you would change a residential template into a commercial. You're just changing the property type that it's searching. Does that answer your question? So when I go here to design, there's not one of these that's going to say, hey, this is the commercial layout. But when I go here, I can say, hey, I want commercial properties. And if you want commercial or properties for lease, do you want to show the main search bar? Yes or no? Do you want to show additional fields? Yes or no? But I can go in, I can say, hey, I want commercial properties for sale. Okay. And now it shows, and it takes away that open house button as well when you change it to commercial. Awesome. So as I mentioned at the beginning, as you're making changes on your website, that green save button in the upper right-hand corner is what makes those changes permanent. Yeah, so in the upper right-hand corner of it, do you see something that looks like this? It has a red cancel and a log out and a page options. Yeah. And then as you have the edit pencils. So if I want to edit this section, I'm going to click on the edit button for that section. I can change each individual slide. I also can choose if I want it to show. If I say, yes, I do want all of these slides to show. And then I click OK. And now it's going to have that scrolling image. If you only want one image, you would say you want the rest as no. And changing the other information on here is very similar. So here I have a series of 6 buttons. If I want to change those buttons, I click on edit. I can change the icon and say, hey, this is an announcement. I'd like this to be an open house link. And then you can choose where you want this link to go. So this right now is going to listings open house. If you wanted to change it, you would click on edit the link. You could choose the page and you could say, okay, I want this to be this link. Awesome. Same for the second one. This one is new listings. Icon 3 is luxury properties. Listing 4 is mortgage. So if you didn't want this to be mortgage, perhaps you wanted this to be maybe sign up. Let's see if I can find one icon that I would like for that. Let's do a check mark. Or like here. I'm going to have this be sign, create a saved search. I want this link to go to maybe into a lead source that is property watch. Okay. Okay. Again, when that green save button shows up, you click save and that's then live. If you want to delete one of these buttons, so perhaps you don't want the icon for home warranty to show, you would just choose display no, and then it changes it live on your page. As you scroll through, you're going to notice this hide button on the right-hand side of your screen. And so you can say, hey, I don't want this property watch to show. I can say hide it, okay. And then it's going to tell you that the My Portal section is hidden. If I log out on this page, just to show you what it looks like from the consumer side, it is immediately hidden. So they don't see the My Portal section is hidden. They just see here's your items, there's no My Portal, and then it goes into the tiles and things like that. Everything that you see on your homepage is something that you can change. So you can go in and you can change and you can re-show that portal. I do want to show it. You can edit all of these tiles very similarly to how you change the images at the top. I can say, I want to change the photo. I want it to be this photo and what you would like it to be. Again, how many do you want to display? Let's say you only want to display 4. Okay, save, and it changes that tile layout. As you scroll down, this particular template has a communities section. It also has a featured homes section. And when you edit listings, it's going to show how you can edit those. So properties for sale, again, Lisa, back to your question about commercial. If you wanted to show commercial properties, you would choose that property type. And what do you want that title to be? So this might be a brand new listings is what you want to show. Hot off the press, new listings to, and then maybe it's your market. So maybe this is Dallas area. If you want to set a price min and a price max, you can do that. You can choose acreage. You can choose how many images. So if you want to say, hey, with all images, or hey, it has to have at least 1 image. I want these to be new listings within 5 days. Do they have a virtual tour? How many listings do you want to display? So you can choose to show up to 30 listings right on your homepage. And as you edit them, it's going to show. Because this is a demo site and there's no listings that are new within 5 days, that's why that shows. So let's say, hey, I'm just going to change this to all so you can get an idea of what that looks like. And now it's going to show here all the listings that fit that. As I scroll down, I can also change these communities. So edit, and it looks very similar to the tiles. Area 1, I want this to be the Elko area listings. It's going to come from a seal if the field is city. And if I click these 3 little lines, I can actually just click the city I would like it to include. Again, then I would go to area 2. Okay, this is Spring Creek. Choose the city. Area 3, Wells City. I can change the photos. So if I don't want all of those photos to be the same, that's great. I can either upload my own images. So on this My Images tab, there's an Upload Image button where I can go in. I could say, hey, I need to choose this photo. It will upload it here for you. Or I can choose from a stock photo. So I can go here and I can say, hey, I want to see some real estate photos or some exterior home photos. And I can change these so they're all different, or if I want them then to be all the same, that is totally up to you. There's also an area in here that is holiday photos, so that you could go in and you can say, hey, I need to see fall photos. So know that it's more than just real estate photos that are available to you as well. And again, anytime you see that green save button at the top of the screen, it's a very good idea to click save, because if you're not clicking save and you exit out or you have something change and you get a phone call, if there's nothing more frustrating than going in, making all these changes, and then having to start over because you didn't click the save button. Any questions on, hey Jeremiah, on this main home page on how to edit things or where to go to change your design? Any questions there before we go on to the next part? If you do not have questions, go ahead, type no in that chat box so that I know that you're still with me. Okay. So the next part of what I want to cover on this main page is this. Underneath the advanced button, there is a place for your Google Analytics and your Google Facebook or your Google Analytics or your Facebook pixel. So if you're running ads on Google or on Facebook and you need to insert your pixel ID or your Google Analytics ID, you can do that really easily here. If you don't know where to find those, there is a description. If you click here, it will tell you where to find them. So yes, you can attach your Google Analytics and your Facebook pixel. It's all underneath advanced. And then underneath Google Analytics and Facebook. You also can go into page options here and you can edit the metadata. So you can give your page a title and a description, so that you can have your page be better found and have better search engine optimization. You can also add meta tag data. How many of you know what keywords are? That is a yes or no question, and I do want to make sure you know before we go on to the next thing. So if you do know what keywords are, type yes in the chat box. If you don't know what keywords are, say no. There's no right or wrong answer. So a keyword is essentially, in a very small nutshell, a list of terms that describe your page well. They're the words that people put into a search bar that say, hey, real estate for sale, Houston, Texas. Real estate for sale, Albuquerque, New Mexico. How to buy a bungalow in Fort Lauderdale, whatever it is. Those are keywords. They're typically in a sentence or brief sentence description form. And keywords you are going to want to include in your description section on this page. A meta tag is the data that describes your page in a bulleted list form. This page is about real estate, and the value is real estate for sale in the greater LA area. Real estate for sale in Southern California. The meta tags are bulleted lists that attach to the back of your page. Your keyword description is the description of what users are putting in the search bar and how your page is ranking. It also is what will show underneath when it comes up on Google, that little descriptive box, so that they know that where they're going has the information they're looking for. Does that make sense to everybody? Cool. So underneath that, to get there again, we went to page options and then metadata, meta tags. There's also the ability to create your own pages within the system. So you get a really nice home page. Everybody gets a what's my home worth. Everybody gets a landing page for my portal and an about me section. but you also can create your own content so that it can be more than just a way for people to search property, more than just a website for capturing leads. You can create community pages. You can create listing specific pages. As an office admin, because I know I've got a couple of you on the call today as well, you can create pages that showcase your agents as well. So when you go in and you click on pages, you can click plus new page, and you can create a new page. There are standard page templates that are static. That means once you put the information in, it stays in there forever, and it is information. If you want it to update it, you go in and you manually update it. These work great for things like preferred vendors or information about how to update your home or things like that. As you scroll down, there's also a dynamic page section that has information about listings. And so listings and areas are pulling from your MLS. For the office admin on the phone, if you wanted to make an agent template or this agent's template too, you could segregate out your luxury agents or your farm and ranch agents or agents for a specific community by selecting one of these templates. These templates are pulling from your roster. These templates are pulling from MLS. And these showcase and luxury are pulling from a specific listing. So I'm putting the MLS number in. Your listings are automatically generating a single listing website, so you do not need to manually go in and do this. This is if you want to have an additional website with maybe a listing that's not yours, but an agent in your office told you could promote it on your webpage. I'm going to go in, I'm going to say, hey, I want to do this listings template 1, just because these are a little bit more complicated in there. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to name the page. So perhaps this is a community page. And this is community events coming soon. Then I'm going to put in the description, when I do this, if this is a page about community events, I'm going to say, looking for community events in the greater Coeur d'Alene area. Here's a list of exciting things that are happening, and we can't wait to have you participate. Shoot me an email if you want to be added to our events calendar or something like that. That's what I'm going to put in that description category. It's going to read nicely for the consumer. It's going to read nicely for Google. It is complete sentences. It has keywords in there, and that's what that page is about. You can add meta tags below that right here if you want. You also can choose not at this time, and you can choose to add it to a menu. I recommend choosing not at this time until you finish editing your page, because remember, as you're editing, your website is live. Then on the right-hand side, you can see registration. So is registration required for this page? Yes or no? If you choose yes, what that means is if a vet comes to my website, she's going to be asked to register before she can see the information on the page. So this is how you create it to be a landing page. There's several times nag, offer, force only with pay-per-click. Nag is like your mom reminding you to pick up your dirty socks. So they're, every time your mom goes by your room, she says, hey, make sure, Amy, that you're picking up your dirty socks. It happens every time they come or every second time they walk by. There is an offer. That means, hey, after they come to my site twice, every time they come, I want them to be asked to fill out a lead form. It does not have to be filled out. They can X out of it and still see the information, but it's offered. And then there's a force. And the force means, hey, when they come to my website, they have to fill out the information or they don't get it. Once you've chosen what that is and what the lead source is, there's a lot of different lead sources that are available. If you don't know what lead source to click here, make sure that you talk to your office manager. They will know what lead source to put in there based on how that lead gets to you. If there's a lead source that says agent website contact form, choose agent website contact form. And then click OK. Once I click OK, it's going to automatically generate that page for me. So it's live. I can see up here, it's got a community page. I've got the community events coming soon. And I'm going to click that white edit button to then edit all of this. So this works very similar to your home page. I can go in, I can click on the text, and I can change the text. Great community events for XYZ. If you want to include a lead form in this text, there is this orange IQ box. I can actually say, I want there to be a lead source on the page. I want it to be a standard lead source, and I want it to be a website contact form. Okay. And now that website contact form is there. I'm going to show you what that looks like when I log out. I don't want to lose where we're at with momentum, but now on that page, consumers can also put in their information. If I want to put in a YouTube video link, I can put it in here. If I don't put anything in, it will not show on my final page. If I want to put a blog in, I can put that here. If I want to put Yelp reviews, I can go in and I say, yes, I would like to show Yelp. I would like to show hotels and travel, local services, nightlife, restaurants, entertainment, shopping, and that's it. When I go there, now I can see here's the Yelp section, and people can click through and see different things about those available companies. Then I have the opportunity to edit the listings. So below that, there is a listings segment. When I click on that listings button, I choose, do I want this to be only my properties? So maybe you're a very heavy listing agent. You have 30 listings and you want a page with only your listings. Click yes, and they'd be only your listings. Do you want only your company listings? Yes or no? What type of property do you want to show? Residential, multifamily, commercial, or land? And then I can choose by location, beds and bath, do new days to the market. Is it on a golf course? Is it luxury? What's the style? I only want maybe active listings, so I choose the status on the right-hand side. Once I make all my choices, I click OK, and it's automatically going to then insert those listings. Again, this is a demo account, so if I don't put in certain parameters, nothing does show up. Yours is pulling live from your MLS every 5 minutes, so it's going to show everything in your MLS. On the left-hand side, there's a section that says, do you want to show listing stats? That automatically updates according to the listings that are available. So 470 listings available, average price per square foot is 107, average list price is 250. Here's how it breaks down, and here's all those properties. So you can easily, and these update live as well. So these statistics update based on these listings that are in your parameter, and it's easy peasy. So any questions about how to create or edit a page? This is a lot of information. We've been speaking for about 30 minutes now. The last part of it is, how do I connect a page to a menu item? And I want to make sure that you know how to do that. And then I want to make sure if you have any questions that I haven't covered, that we can cover those as well. So I created this page. Remember when I created this page that I said, no, do not attach it to a web menu item at this time, because I want to go in and I want to make sure that the cover image looks right. So I want to make sure that I've got the right cover image, that I've got all my content in there. Once I do that, I'm going to click on the menus button in the upper left-hand corner, and then I'm going to choose to edit my site menu. When I do that, I can add information to any of these menus, or I can add a top menu item. To that, I would go to link it. I'm going to go to custom pages. I'm going to choose my A community page. I'm going to call this community events. And then I choose, is it a submenu? So am I going to house it underneath one of these? I want this to go underneath maybe my blog or my about me. Maybe I want it to be a top menu. You choose where you want it to go. And I click add to menu and click save. Now, when I go to my about me, I can see my community event page right there, and the public can access it. If you only want to use it on social media and you don't want it to be linked to a menu, you can go in, if you've attached it, you can click edit. I can trash that community events button and click save. I can then copy this and paste this into social media. I do recommend, if you're doing that so you don't have to remember this URL all the time, that you save it to your bookmarks. And I actually have a folder on mine that is called lead landing pages, so that I can just go in and access those pages very quickly. I do want to log out so that I can show you what that lead form looks like. Are there any questions about that piece of it? That's a lot of information in 32 minutes here, team. So here it is. There's that lead form right here. Samantha, what are you still working at? Because you said you're using the website, but you're still working on it. Lisa, any questions that you've had from agents that you don't know how to answer? We want to make sure that we're covering here. That is a ton of information. What I want you to remember is you're going to start by choosing your design. So on your website, you're going to go log in, and then you're going to go to design. Yeah, so Samantha has a good question. So she has a landing page for my listings, and it only shows residential and not our land listings as well. Because we categorize out by property type, Samantha, those are actually separate. We've found that consumers that want to look at homes want to look at homes, and consumers that want to look at dirt to build typically just want to look at dirt to build. So I would create two. And when if I go back into our community page here, when you change those listings, see here where there's a button that says land, and at this time you can only choose residential or land. You can't choose multiple property types. So I would create one for residential and then create a separate page for land. Farm and ranch is something, so Samantha asked, the landing page for my listing only shows residential and not our land listings as well. Our farm and ranch listings are not listed under land, and we need those to show too. So those would be listed here. So underneath style, there's actually a farm and ranch style. That comes through from MLS, not as property type, but it comes through as a property style. So you're going to want to make sure on the left-hand side here that you check that farm or ranch button. Land comes through from MLS. That's something you need to talk to your office manager about. That has to do with your MLS feed. That's not us thing. That's how we're getting those listings. I'm sure we can figure it out. Other questions? Cool. That was very short and sweet. This was recorded. You will be getting an email copy of it. It also will be posted to our Facebook page. If you're not a member of our Facebook page, we would love to have you join us. It's called Realistic Users. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to type the link into the chat box now. If you click on it, it will open in a separate tab, so you will have a copy of that as well. As soon as the video renders, you will have it. It is likely that it will be by early this afternoon. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.